Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video we'll talk about Disco Diffusion, which is a clip guided diffusion model. Let's see first what it is capable of, then we'll talk more about it and how we can utilize it.
Oh, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. Why they wanna move like that? Where you want gone? Why you want act like that? Where you play hard? No rush, go and move dumb. Back and forth, push and shove. Make your peace and love turn to peace and gloves. Now you gotta do it right now.
So we have seen what it is capable of, and it is capable of quite extraordinary things. I created all these images with the help of Disco Diffusion Google Colabs notebook, the one that I'm showing over here. So it's a introductory video, we'll touch upon how we can quickly do the setup at our notebook, and then in the later videos I'll explain and walk you through on how we can create the images that are shown in the start of the video. I'll explain those in the upcoming videos. First, let's understand the basic and how we can start quickly. So it all starts from Katherine Crowson's diffusion model, fine-tuned diffusion model, which was later worked on by many other developers and they optimized it. So in the credit section we can see it is using OpenAI's unconditional ImageNet along with the combination of the clip and Katherine Crowson's fine-tuned model. So if you know, OpenAI has recently released ChatGPT, which is using generative pre-trained transformer 3.5, and it has shocked all the internet and it is a very trending topic right now. You can check out my video on that. Before we start creating the images, we have to do few setups. We have to provide some permissions while we are generating the images, and we have to link up our Google Drive with our Google Colab. So let's do that. Let's click on run anyway. Once we click that, we will get some redirects where we have to go and accept those. So let's click on connect to Google Drive, and here we just select our account. Once we've selected our account, we have to select the condition and put allow. When this is done, it will start running up. Let's wait for a few more minutes. When we are doing it for the first time, it will take some time because it is linking our whole Google Drive with the code, and it will download few models in our Google Drive. So it will take some time, so don't be alarmed by that. Let's take a look over here, and here you are seeing some few checks. We don't need many of these models, so we will just disable that B16 clip settings because we are just starting with this video. So we just want to quickly generate the image, and that's our purpose. So let's do that part. When we are running it for the first time, we have to be a little patient. So as you can see, the setup is running, and the diffusion and clip model settings we can talk about it later. So in this one we have 4 major parts. One is the setup, then diffusion, clip settings. Okay, so here we are done with the setup part, and you will see the green ticks whenever a particular piece of code is ran correctly. Then you can see these green ticks over there. That means you can proceed with the next steps. And here you are seeing we are connected to Google Drive and save models to Google Drive. Those parts are checked. So what it will do, it will ensure that whatever we are doing in this notebook, it will be saved in our Google Drive location. Otherwise, all the images, if we don't save it, once we run this notebook, they can get lost. So if we are saving all these parts, then it is making sure that all the images are safe, and we can use it later on when we are done with the running of the whole notebook, or when we are satisfied with the results. We can directly go to our Google Drive and take a look of how and where it is stored. So I'll explain more about it in the next video. Let's see first on this one how it is performing, and once it is done running all these steps in the first part of the setup, then we'll come to the clip and model settings. Let's wait for some more time for it to run and complete. I will skip this part, like whenever it is done I'll just resume it video after that. Okay, now it's done. So the first part is ran successfully. Now we are running the second part. So in the second part, just follow along all these values which I have mentioned here and tick all these checks. And if you see on the left side, we are seeing some code. If you are a little bit intimidated by that code, you can just right click and hide that portion. You can directly see all the options itself. So it will just look like a option that you are trying to use instead of seeing the code. But if you're seeing the code, then it's very simple. If you can see, like we are using a bunch of if statements. So whatever the condition it is satisfied, if that if statement is satisfied, that the piece of code inside that particular if statement is executed. And there are many functions that are part of this particular piece of code for the diffusion and clip model settings. We'll go in detail about those in the later videos. Let's wait for some time for this to complete. While the second part is running, let's take a look at what are the things that got completed in the first part. So if you see here, we have connected to Google Drive, then the model is saved in your Google Drive, and we have not selected the CPU. All these things we can notice it, and we can also go through the code itself, that we are using clip and we are using some try catch code blocks, so that if some kind of issue happens, then it can be projected. So I will not go in much into details here in this video. It's an introductory video, so I'm just brushing it up. Like we can see what are the libraries that it is using. It's using torch, data classes, function tools, cv2, opencv. It's a very good library. Then pandas we are using, which is mostly used for data frames. Then numpy, which is mostly used for arrays. And then we have math, time, ipython, glob, json, and many other libraries we are using in this particular notebook. So if you are more interested, then you can go and have a look about what are the understanding, and you can get the understanding of those libraries and what are the purposes that they serve in this section of the code. So that will give you an idea how it is behaving and how things can be made. If you want to create some kind of tool out of it, then you can also get some ideas on that. But if you're more on the side of using the tool, then you can skip that part and directly focus on the parts that are present on the right side of the notebook, which are not related to the code, but how we are using it and what are the parameters that we are giving. So that is more focused on that part. So but if you are more on side of the technical side, then you can play around with the code that is present on the left side, and you can see what is happening on that. So we are done with the second part. Now let's try to run the third part. So you can configure all the settings that I have shown here. You can pause the video and you can configure these values how I am showing in the video. And third part will run very fast, and here what we are showing, these values, you can use it. The batch name we are written as cottage. So cottage is nothing but the file where it will save. And now third part is fast. So now let's run the fourth part itself. So this is the main part where all the magic will happen, and here the image will get created, and we have to see how it will create that image. We can see that image and it will start in some time. I think it will not take much time. Yeah, it started. Let me just speed up the video so that you can see that image is getting created faster. Sometimes Disco Diffusion will create some random images which are not making any sense to us. Like if you can see here itself, we can see it is creating some image, but I'm not sure like it will create proper image. Looks like it is trying to merge a field with some cottage, and there is some washed away colors in between with the sky. So these kind of things happen, and how to handle these kind of things and how we can create spectacular looking images, I'll explain some tips on that. I'll give you those tips. So if you are liking this video, do like, share and subscribe, and I will in the future videos I'll explain how you can create very good looking images that I've shown in the start of the video. So this is an introductory video. If you are liking it, if you followed till this part, you can like it and you can go through it. You can understand the code also, but mostly my aim will be to create the image so that others can also understand if they are not interested in the part of code. If you find this video insightful, do like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.